right, our bells are not, oh, never mind. Okay, our bells weren't earlier, so there we go. Today we have our do now question, just a question in the chat. So it's what's your favorite breakfast food? So I'm only gonna give us 2 minutes to do that. So go ahead and get started on that. So place your answers in the chat for what's your favorite breakfast food? What's your favorite breakfast food? And I apologize if I'm a little distracted. I'm just trying to get our breakout rooms ready for our activity today. So I am paying attention, but I'm also doing that. All right, 30 more seconds to get your answers in the chat. What's your favorite breakfast food? Very important question. Very important question. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Ooh, we got a lot of bacon, got a lot of eggs. Awesome. Here's what we're gonna do. I am going to, Faisal, I got your question about the homework. I'm gonna actually put questions for homework at the end of the period, just because I want us to have enough time to get through our agenda for today, because we're doing something a little bit different. But before we get started, I want you to take out your notes from yesterday. So take out your notes from yesterday. We're gonna do a couple problems on the back before we get started with our virtual gallery walk. So I came up with this brilliant idea. You might not think it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant. Yesterday, while I was watching TV, and I was like, let's do a gallery walk, but let's do it virtually. And it worked out pretty well for period 1, so I feel like it's gonna work out for period 2. We'll see, let's not jinx it. But before we do that, we do need to go over 2 problems on the back of the notes from yesterday. So go ahead and take those out. All right, so yesterday we talked about solving by factoring. So the steps were that you had to move everything to one side and set it equal to 0. Then you had to factor using all the things that we did last week. Then you have to set each of those equal to 0, and then you have to write your answer as a solution set. So all of the examples we looked at yesterday, it was already set equal to 0. So it's easy peasy. But what happens if your equation is not set equal to 0? What do? Your first step is you have to move everything to one side so that it is set equal to 0. So for number 9, we've got 2x squared equals 5x. Your first step is you have to make sure it's set equal to 0. So you either need to move the 2x squared or you need to move the 5x over to one side. How do you decide which one to move it to? I always move it to the side that has the x squared. So I'm going to move the 5x over to the other side. Anytime you move, you use inverse operation. So this is a positive 5x, so I'm going to subtract 5x to move it to the other side. Any questions so far?
We can't see what you're doing.
Thank you, Noah. It's probably because I forgot to share my screen. I got too excited today. There we go. Is that better? Beautiful. You guys didn't say anything for the longest time. You're too kind to me. Any questions so far about moving the 5x now that you can see what I'm doing? All right, x squared and x, those are not like terms, so you have to keep them separate. So it's 2x squared minus 5x. And on the other side, 5x minus 5x cancels out, so you get 0. And that's what you want. You want it set equal to 0. So now that you've set it equal to 0, now we can go ahead and factor it out. So I'll take a volunteer, so go ahead and type in me in the chat if you can tell me how to factor 2x squared minus 5x.
Do you take out x?
Yeah, you can take out a GCF, so you can take out an x from both of those. So 2x squared divided by x is 2x, minus 5x divided by x, you're just left with a 5, equal to 0. And then it's factored, so once it's factored, you set each factor equal to 0. X equals 0 is already solved for, so you don't need to worry about that. But on the right side, we want to add 5 to both sides. So you'll get 2x is equal to 5. I'm going to go over here so I have a little bit more room. Divide by 2, divide by 2. So x is equal to 5 over 2. So your two solutions are 0, 5 over 2. Any questions so far about number 9? All right, let's look at number 10. 7x squared plus 8x equals x squared. So this time, again, it's not set equal to 0, so you need to move everything over to one side so that it is equal to 0. How do you decide which one? I always move everything to the side that has the x squared. But in this particular problem, both sides have an x squared. You have a 7x squared and you have an x squared. So in that case, move the smaller x squared to the other side. So I want to move the x squared, not the 7x squared. Positive x squared, the opposite of that is minus or negative x squared. So you're going to subtract x squared from both sides. X squared and x squared, those are like terms. So 7x squared minus x squared gives us 6x squared. Plus 8x, that comes down, and then x squared minus x squared cancels out. You're left with just 0. This is what you wanted. And then I'll take a volunteer. You can unmute yourself. How do we factor out 6x squared plus 8x?
You take 2x from out, like out
Yeah.
of both.
Yes, good job, Gavin. The GCF is 2x, because 2 goes into 6 and 8, and they both have an x. 6 divided by 2 is 3. X squared divided by x is x. 8 divided by 2 is 4. X divided by x cancels out. So you 2x equals 3x plus 4. Set each factor equal to 0. On the left side, we're going to divide both sides by 2. So x is equal to 0. And on the right side, we're going to subtract 4. So we'll get 3x equals negative 4. And then divide by 3, divide by 3. So x is equal to 4 over 3. So your two solutions are negative 4 over 3 and 0. Any questions so far? Okay, so now here's the fun part. You obviously don't want to hear me talk about all these problems. That would take forever. So instead, I'm going to have you all work together in groups, and then you're going to be the teachers to your classmates. So we're going to work with the same groups that we did yesterday off of the same Google Doc. So in just a second, I'm going to share the link to the Google Doc, the collaboration, in the chat. So There you go. Everyone click on the link. Make sure that you can edit it. And if you can't, let me know and I'll fix that for you. But it's the same Google Doc we used yesterday. Cool, I see a lot of people logging in. Awesome, awesome. Make sure you're one of those people that's logging in to the Google Doc. All right, we're gonna be in the same groups that we were in yesterday. If you were not here yesterday, I will assign you a random group. If your group members are not here today, then I will also assign you a new group, but I think for the most part, we have everyone. There just might be a couple changes, and I'll change that in the Google Doc as well. What we're gonna do is that each group is gonna take ownership of one of the problems from the notes. So whether that's 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever it is, each group is gonna be in charge of one problem. I'm gonna give you all 7 minutes to work together as a group and come up with your final solution. So I want you to set the equation equal to 0, factor it out, and then solve for x. So you should have 2 solutions. You should have x equals 2 different numbers. On the Google Drive, all you have to do is write your final answer. So I don't need you to spend all your time trying to type out all of the work. Just write down your final answer. So if you just wrote x equals 0, 5 over 2, that's perfectly fine. That's all I need. So at the end of the 7 minutes, you want to work the problem out with your group so you can individually do it on your pieces of paper as long as that final answer is in the Google slide. After that, once you finish solving your problem, you're going to choose one spokesperson. So one spokesperson for your group is going to be explaining that problem to the rest of your classmates, because we're going to do like a virtual gallery walk. So we're going to rotate through breakout rooms, but your spokesperson will stay with your group's breakout room and explain your problem to everyone. So let's say that Gavin, Henry, and Jaden were in a group together, and Gavin's the spokesperson. Henry and Jaden are going to travel and get the answers for the rest of the notes, but Gavin's going to stay and explain 11 to everyone that comes through. And at the very end, if you are a spokesperson, your group will come back to you and give you all the answers. So you will still get the answers if you're a spokesperson. You're just going to get it in a different format. Any questions so far? I know it's a little complicated, but that's the overview of what we're doing today. Okay. So in just a moment, I'm gonna put you in your breakout rooms. It's already labeled whatever problem you're supposed to be working on. So for example, number 11, Henry, Ida, and Amani, you guys are working on that. Number 12, Freslam, JJ, and Tyler, you guys are working on that. So in these 7 minutes, I want you to solve your problem, write down the final answer on the Google slide, and then choose your spokesperson. And I'll come around and check in on you as you guys work. Cool? Any questions before we get started? All right, off you go to your breakout rooms. Those of you that joined, let's see, where are you supposed to go? You're in group number 3. Tyler, you're in group number 2. Morion, you weren't here yesterday. I'm gonna put you in group number 7. You guys doing okay over here?
Yes.
Cool. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay.
Kyle, just wanted to make sure that you know that you're working on number 18 because I just noticed that your name was up there twice. You guys good?
Yeah.
Okay, so you all know that you're working on number 18, which is 4x squared minus 11x equals x minus 9. Yes.
Yeah.
Are y'all doing okay? Any questions over here?
Yeah, so I factored the 2 out of this. So it was like I had x squared minus 25.
So before you do that, I'm going to stop you real quick, Henry. Before you factor, you want to make sure that everything's set equal to 0.
So how do I do that?
You have to move everything over to the side that has the x squared, right? So you have,
Both sides of x.
so you want to move the x squared over and you want to move the minus 1 over to the other side. Does that make sense?
And how do I do that? I just move them.
Yeah, so like positive x squared, to move it, you're going to have to subtract x squared from both sides. -1, to move it, you're going to have to add 1 to both sides.
And then would I add the x squares together?
Well, technically you'd subtract, it would be 2x squared minus x squared because you're subtracting the x squared from both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then once it's set equal to 0, that's when you can factor.
all right.
Yeah, I'll come back in and check on you guys. How's it
And
going?
and then you do the 2x minus
I'm just
9.
trying to figure out. We're just trying to figure out. So you know how, like, you get 4x squared minus 81 equals to 0.
Yep.
So since 81 doesn't have the x,
But you see, it's 4x squared minus 81, right? How many terms do you have?
When you equal
2.
that to 0,
You would equal it to 0, but you have
and
2
then
terms, right? You have the 4x squared and you have the 81. You have a minus sign in between them, and they're perfect squares. So what method should we use to factor?
I don't know what the method is called, but I know you gotta find the like, don't you divide it?
Not divide it, you got to find the square root, right? It's difference of squares.
Yeah, the square root of 4 and the square root of 81.
And then one has to be a plus, one has to be a minus.
Yeah, then it'd be 2x minus 9 in the parentheses, and then it'd be times 2x plus 9 in parentheses equals 0.
And then set each one equal to 0, and then you go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What's up, Jaden?
So for our problem, will we add the 3x to both sides?
Remind me what your problem is again. Okay. Yeah, add 3x to both sides, and you also want to subtract 2 from both sides.
Oh, okay. I had add 3x to 41x, and then yeah, that's probably why.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What's up, Christian?
So I got for the not for the solution, but for when I put all the numbers to one side equal to 0, I got 4x to the second power plus 41x plus 98 minus 2 minus 3x equals 0.
Yes, but I think you're also working on the wrong problem. You're doing number 15, I thought, which was But you solved number 17 correctly.
Okay. So you want me to keep working on this one or do 15?
Do you mind moving to 15?
Yeah, I can do 15.
Okay, thank you. How are we doing over here? Any questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, did you guys get your final answer?
-10 and +8.
Good, just make sure to put that on the drive.
Okay.
Cool. You guys, are you doing okay? Any questions?
I think I got the answer.
Okay, what'd you guys get?
Is it x1 equals -7 and then x2 equals 7?
Yep, good job. Write your answer in the drive and then choose your spokesperson.
All right.
Make sure that you guys have chosen a spokesperson before we leave the breakout rooms. Y'all doing okay over here? Any questions? Hello?
Yeah.
You good?
No.
What questions do you have? Where's Elise and Nick? Make sure you unmute yourselves. Can you? Oh, there you go. What do you guys have a question on?
I don't have a question. I just feel like I'm doing this by myself.
Okay, I understand that sentiment. So I think it's important that y'all are unmuted and that you share your answers. And at the very least, you need to choose a spokesperson that's going to be sharing your answer with the rest of them. And you need to get your answer in the drive so I can check it. How are we doing over here? Any questions? No, did you guys get your answer?
Yes.
What'd you get?
We got x plus 5, x plus 5.
X plus 5 and what?
Wait, no. X plus 5 squared, I guess. If we can do that. Can you do x plus 5 squared, 14? Or x plus 5, x plus 5?
For number 15?
No, 14. I think we got it right.
Oh, you got x plus 5 times x plus 5. Yeah, so you actually are only going to have one solution, which is x equals -5. Yep.
So what?
You're only going to have
I'm sorry.
one for this. It's only going to be x equals -5.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. And then do you have your spokesperson already?
Hey, Jonathan, that could be you. I was the person last time.
Did you say me?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Wait, so our answer is we don't have to put it in like the parentheses?
No, you don't have to. It's just x equals -5.
Okay, so it's just x equals -5.
All right, everyone. I'm going to give us a chance to get back, and I'm going to do a quick roll call to see who your spokespeople are going to be for today. So hopefully you chose your spokesperson. If not, then I will have to come back to you, or I'll choose for you. All right, Henry, Ida, Amani, who's your spokesperson?
Henry.
Henry, great. Thank you. I appreciate how you also said your name. That was helpful. Fresalam, JJ, Tyler, who's your spokesperson?
JJ.
JJ, beautiful. Anam, Gavin, Noah, who's your spokesperson?
Unknown.
Anam, perfect. Elise and Nick, who's your spokesperson?
I'll do it.
Nick, great, thank you. Conrad and Jonathan, who's your spokesperson?
Me, Jonathan.
Jonathan, thank you. Christian and Denham, who's your spokesperson?
Me.
Christian?
Yeah.
Jade and Tia, Morion, who's your spokesperson?
Jaden.
Jaden, beautiful, thank you. And then Bo-Ray, Clervins, and Natalie, who's your spokesperson?
Natalie.
Natalie, great. Okay, so in just a moment, you're gonna be switched to a different group. So spokesperson, you're gonna stay and you're gonna get new people in your group and you're gonna explain to them how to solve your problem. So let's say Henry is working through 11. When his people come, be like, hi, I'm Henry. I'm gonna show you how to do problem number 11. And then you just go through, let them know what the answer is, answer any questions they may have. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes each. That should be enough time. If not, just let me know and we can extend that. Those of you that are traveling, make sure that you take good notes because remember, you have to go back to your original group and give your spokesperson the answers. So do your best. Any questions before I move you all? Okay, it does take a little bit of time to move you, so just be patient. If you're alone in a breakout room, I promise someone will come very soon. So, all right, off you go. All right, there you go.
For question 16, I had 4 left out. What would I do if it's outside the parentheses?
Nothing. If it's just a constant, it goes away.
Okay.
Natalie, you explaining your problem? Hello, Natalie, Morion, Tia.
I'm sorry, my computer froze for a second.
No worries. Did you start explaining your problem?
Yeah, I was about to.
Okay, great. Go for it.
All right. So we got 2x to the power of 2 equals x plus 21. So we just set it equal to 0. And then 2x to the power of 2 minus x minus 21 equals 0, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we were supposed to, I don't know if I did this right. If we
You
did
did it
this
right. Your answers are correct. So just have confidence and explain it.
So then I guess we split it. So 2x to the power 2 plus 6x minus 7x minus 21 equals 0. And then we factor out the common things.
The GCF, yeah.
Yeah. So then it would be x plus 3 times 2x minus 7 equals 0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then that's how we got the -3 and then the 7/2 or the 3.5.
Great. Good job, Natalie. Morion and Tia, do you guys have any questions?
Nah, I ain't got no quiz.
You sure? Okay. Now's your time to ask them.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to move you guys in just a moment if you're good. All right, Natalie, you're getting a new person in just a second.
So our problem was 2x to the power of 2.
Henry, did you already explain your work?
Yeah.
Already so quickly?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions, Morion and Tia? Sorry, I feel like I'm following you two.
Nah.
No, you got it again?
Yeah, we cool. I'm cool. I don't know about it.
Okay, as long as you got it, that's all I care about. Good job.
Okay.
I'm gonna give everyone just a minute and then I'll switch you guys again. All right, I'm gonna move you and Tia, Morion and Tia in just a second. So you'll go to your next one. Denim, you there? Cool. All right, Henry, it's all you.
All right, so you have to start off by subtracting x squared and adding 1 and moving that to the left side of the
Can you repeat that again? Hello.
yeah. You have to subtract.
Nick, did you already finish explaining?
What?
Did you already finish explaining your problem?
I couldn't get the right answer for mine.
What problem are you working on?
18.
So did you set it equal to 0 yet?
Yeah, but I don't know if I did it right.
So what'd you get when you set it equal to 0?
It was like 3x squared minus 11x minus 9 plus 9.
You got, well, so you don't want to do 3x squared because do you see how you don't have another x squared term? So you can't combine 4x squared and the x. When you're going to subtract the x, so it's 4x squared minus 11x minus x, so that's negative 12x, right? Plus 9. So that's where you made a mistake. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so Ida and Amani, you guys get an extra special time. You can try to help Nick and see if you can get the right answer with him.
I don't really even know what problem we're on because Zoom kicked me out. Like, I wasn't in it.
What problem are we on, Nick?
18.
18 on your notes. It's also on the Google Drive.
I don't know what to do after that.
So you got 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 equals 0, right?
Yeah.
So what method should you use to factor that?
What's it called with the parentheses? Is that it?
You could do perfect square trinomials or you could do bottoms up. Either one will work.
Yeah, what is that?
What is bottoms up? We learned that on Wednesday. Remember where you take the 4, you multiply it by the 9. So you'll get x squared minus 12x plus 36, and then you use your magic x.
Okay.
So I'd look at your notes from Wednesday.
All right, hold on.
All right, let me give everyone some time to join us again. So let's give everyone like 30 seconds. Okay, I had to end this a little bit early, so I know that you didn't get a chance to look at all the problems, but that's okay. I'll put up the answers. But just a quick show of hands. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you liked or didn't like the gallery walk. Okay, we're about 50-50, so I'm willing to try it again. I think it'll be a little bit better now that we know how it works to try it again, just because I know it's sometimes boring to hear me talk a whole bunch. And I would love for you all to have the opportunity to interact with your classmates. So we'll try it again. I think it could be better. We can fine tune it now that we kind of know how it works. I'm going to go ahead and share the answers. I'll also put this up on Canvas. So if you don't get a chance to copy it down now, don't worry too much. I'm going to put these notes up on Canvas as well. But we'll start with 11 through 14. So if you didn't get a chance to talk to the group members from 11 through 14, or if you were a spokesperson, you can take a picture of this. Ask me any questions if you have them. We can also answer questions tomorrow in class too. So if something comes up, then I can answer it then. Does anyone need more time with 11 through 14? All right, let's look at the last couple, so 15 through 18. Any questions on that? Anyone need more time for 15 through 18? Okay. All right, let's go over your homework. So the same homework assignment from yesterday, which was 3.1, is going to be due tomorrow at 11:59. Just as a reminder, for questions 47 onwards, where it asks you to find the zero, they just want you to set the equation equal to 0 and then factor to solve. So don't get tripped up by that wording. Whenever they're asking you to find the zeros, they're asking you to do the same thing. Just set whatever equation they have given you equal to 0. I'm going to stick around because Freslam, I know you had a question on the homework. So if you could stick around, I'll answer that question. If anyone else has questions on the homework, feel free to stick around. I'll answer them for you. If not, you can log off and I will see you tomorrow. All right, so let's pull up 51. Where'd it go? Okay. What was your question about that, Freslam?
I'm just confused how to solve it.
Okay. So it says to find the zeros, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you set the equation equal to 0. So it's 2x squared minus 2x minus 12, right? Equal to 0.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you see how the GCF is 2? 2 goes into all of those numbers.
Yep.
I can factor that out, so I'll be left with x squared minus x minus 6. You good so far?
Mm-hmm.
Then I can do the magic x, so negative 6 goes at the top, negative 1 goes at the bottom. So what are two numbers that would multiply to give you negative 6 and add to give you negative 1? So you know because this, go ahead.
2 and negative 3.
2 and negative 3, correct. Yep. So it's x plus 2, x minus 3, set it equal to 0, set each factor equal to 0. So 2 we don't care about because 2 equals 0, that's not a thing, that's not true. X plus 2 equals 0, subtract 2 from both sides, so x equals negative 2, and then x minus 3 equals 0, add 3 to both sides, so x equals positive 3.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.